Good morning. I'm pleased today to be able to present to you about Cyprium Metals. Cyprium Metals was formed in June 2019 with the strategy of developing copper projects in Australia. Currently, we have 3 projects, all based within Western Australia, which, as you know, is a Tier 1 mining jurisdiction. Our first projects, which make up the Murchison Copper Gold project, were Holland Air and Nardi Well. Our subsequent projects are Nifty, which is a copper mine on care and maintenance, which is the focus of our development aspirations right now, and Maroochydore, which has over 480,000 tonne of resource, and it's located 60 kilometres south of Nifty. And then we have a joint venture where Independence Group is earning into our surrounding exploration tenements. We've built this portfolio of assets with a view to developing multiple operations and becoming a mid-tier copper producer, right in the midst of an electrical thematic. And our aim is to produce copper metal on site, which fits right into the sustainable electrification process happening in the world today. Just a picture of how we've grown in the 3 years that we've been around. As you can see now, 1.6 million tonnes combined mineral resource, copper tonnes, Nifty being 940,000 of them. And as I said, Nifty is our main focus. It's on care and maintenance. It's a refurbishment project, and we're currently in a finance process. A little bit about our market share price. We're listed on the ASX, ticker code CYM. So Nifty is located in the Pilbara of WA. We only took control of it in March of last year, and subsequent to that, we've done a research study and we've got most of the environmental approvals. Remembering it's a brownfield site, so the environmental approvals are amendment approvals, which makes them much quicker to get. The restart study focuses around a phase 1 open pit and oxide heap leach SXEW. Historically, when Nifty started as a mine in '93, it was a heap leach oxide SXEW, and over 200,000 tonnes of copper metal plate were produced on site from that process. So all we've done is go back to that process, cut back the open pit, and we're retreating heap leach material. You can see in this picture what we're talking about. You can see the old heap leach pads to the south of the open pit, the SXEW to the east of the open pit, and then north you'll see tailings dam, west you'll see the concentrator, then the old open pit, and there was an underground into chalcopyrite underneath. So 200,000 tonnes of copper historically from heap leach SXEW oxide material, and then 500,000 tonnes historically from an underground mine feeding through a 2.8 million tonne per annum concentrator. Associated with all that, we've got all offices, workshops, the facilities, 21 meg gas power plant and pipeline, sealed airstrip, and a mine village. So you can see the mine is basically ready to go. It's a refurbishment project. It's not greenfields. All the approvals are just about in place, all the amendments. So we're very well advanced into a finance process. As soon as the finance process is completed, we can then start construction. Or refurbishment. We have a 12-month refurbishment window, and then we produce copper metal plate. So a little bit about the history. As I said, 93 to 2009 SXEW heap leach, which is what we're doing. And then flotation plant with the sulphide underground. So for us, the phase 1 goes for 6.5 years. The oxide part of the ore body is not closed off yet, so we see that life will extend as we drill and close the resource off. But subsequent to that, we see a phase 2, which goes back into the sulphide as an open pit, and then the sulphide basically gets treated, and that mine life goes for over 20 years. So you can see this phase 1 oxide, phase 2 sulphide scenario and strategy that we have at Nifty. Gets us into production really quickly, makes us fully funded to work on to our other projects. A little bit about the infrastructure. As you can see, we've got power, we've got water, we've got all the camp accommodation, we've got an SXEW, We've got a concentrator, batching plant for concrete. So everything that you need to start an operation, we've got it there. And then just a bit about the project. So 25,000 tonnes of copper metal plate produced on site. As I said, we've done this before. We built a similar plant in eastern Indonesia, so we have experience at doing this and this sort of refurbishment. So where did we do it before? Basically, we had a project with a company called Finders Resources in eastern Indonesia, a sulphide heap leach SXEW project. The plant that we took into that site is a sister plant to the Nifty plant. It was originally from Wim Creek. We refurbished it and upgraded it to 25,000 tonnes per annum. We finished the commissioning mid-2016, and then by September 2016, it was up to full production. Calendar year 2017, the first full year of production for that plant on a remote island, high rainfall, difficult access, seaborne transport only. 23,160 tonnes of copper, EBITDA over 100 million Aussie, cash cost 105, 156 against a copper price then of about 6,000 a tonne. So you can see significantly the team that we've got that did that job now are available to do this job, and we've done it before. Nifty doesn't have half the issues around the previous project. We're on flat land, we've got road access, we've got infrastructure, we've got everything around it. So a bit about the capital development expenditure. And again, we're really confident in our financials because we've done this before. And that experience that we've had before is invaluable. So we've taken that experience we've learned and we've put it into this project. A bit about the finance. We're well advanced with various parties. We're basically, data rooms are open, documents are happening. We're hopeful to finish that as quickly as possible, looking for a target package between 240 and 260 million Aussie, various parties with various packages. A bit about our approvals. As I said, as a historical, or not a historical site, as a site that was put on care and maintenance in November of 2019, all the approvals are in place. So when you go to restart, you can take those approvals and you can amend them. An amendment process is much quicker. And the project itself is run at the same style and manner. Like there was an open pit there, so we're open pitting. There was a waste dump there, so we're extending a waste dump. SXEW was permitted, so we're refurbishing that, and so on and so forth. So it makes the process a whole lot easier. So that means what we've managed to do is to get most of our approvals in place already. We have a couple of outstanding approvals to get, which you can see in that table, which we're hopeful we'll get shortly. And then we get a final approval on a state agreement post-finance. So you can see it makes it much quicker. Where normally it'd take 2 to 3 years to do all this sort of stuff, for us it's a much shorter timeline. And because it was a refurbishment in a brownfield site, it's a much shorter timeline on the refurbishment, because we're not taking long lead items and things like that. So 2022, busy year. We did a lot of things in 2022. We're moving through the finance process now. We look to get our final approvals, our finance drawdown, construction, refurbishment underway early next year. Then we commission in the second half of the year, and then copper cathode production 2024, first half. Little bit about ESG. We don't deal with ESG a lot because we just do it. We don't talk about it a lot. But what the investor needs to remember is that we produce a final finished product on site, copper metal plate. So our emissions to produce that plate are much less than producing concentrate and shipping that to a smelter overseas, or producing just rock and shipping that overseas. And that's one of the advantages, and that's why we want to build our business producing copper metal plate. Thanks for listening.